Welcome back everybody to some more Just the Basics here in Factorio. Last time we set up this 8x8 balancer and we got it hooked up to just this first little module for making of gear wheels, and I've since managed to hook the rest in. Now, because we have taken half a line off of all of these using these splitters, this is now actually only carrying, at this stage down here, 2 lines worth of material. So this is the point where we actually want to hook it back in to our restocker up here, but I don't think we'll be doing that necessarily today. What we need to do today for the most part is try and get a start going on making electronic circuits. Now, electronic circuits are significantly more difficult to make than the gear wheels. I've talked about this a little bit before because they have copper cables and iron plates, that is requiring therefore both iron and copper being fed into their general module, and it also means that we actually have to have 2 steps of crafting just to get to the electronic circuits, because we need to craft the copper cables and feed those into a machine actually making the circuits. So things are going to get a little bit more complicated. But because we now have these gear wheels, I can make a whole abundance of pretty much everything else. Once we have electronic circuits, it's going to be a lot easier to get the electric energy distribution going, and that's going to help us tidy up the power over here, although this is actually quite tidy, relatively speaking. But going up here, oh, it just gets worse and worse the further up I go. And we have this group of biters down here that's also going to be a problem. But hopefully not one today. We'll find out, I guess. I'd like to rearrange this at the very least so we can get, so that we can at least get these just going directly into Wang Coffin Lab. It won't be that if I pick it up and place it down, so let me know if you think I should just leave this, if I should just abandon all of the iron ore that's sitting under Wang Coffin Lab. Just have it be there as a historical monument of some description. Gods, can you imagine? But yeah, we want to keep this. Let's rename that to 8x8. And save. And that did not save because I am a doofus. Don't worry about me. There we go. Okay. And let's actually just put that in our balancers over here. So let's see, that's a 6x6. That's the 8x8. There we go. Nice little scale. That, of course, is only built for the baseline, and this is only built for the top tier, but, you know, it's something. And I now need another blueprint. Always handy to have, just on your person. Okay. Alright, so we've taken out the group of biters that was up here. We're not currently touching anybody else, but you can see that we are expanding with our pollution as we go. That is a nice, juicy iron ore vein. I'm probably gonna want to, like, tap onto that after a while, but that also is the only piece of other copper I can find in this whole map so far. But we are very baby scale right now, and how are we doing for our power? Okay for the moment. We are going to need to change our power over in the near future, I think, but not right now. Not right now. And we're not having any trouble feeding coal into our smelting, so that's good. We're actually backing up on copper because we can't process it, or at least we're not using it enough. But yeah, we need to remember as well, we're going to be doing the same thing over here, so we can actually get our other lines down there. But yeah, anyways, I'm rambling to avoid addressing what I actually have to do here, which is get to making electronic circuits. So we want to be making, once again, 80 items per second of this. It tells us that we are going to need 10.7 at the end stage with the electronic circuits, but we are also going to need another 16 to just make all of the copper cables. Now, there's a variety of ways that you can do this. The way that I personally prefer to do it is the one that we're going to be doing today. And this one gets a tad convoluted, so bear with me as I try and arrange it. Because it is not necessarily straightforward. So we have 2 like this. We take a step in. I place our one that's actually making electronic circuits right there. And then we feed those with 2 like that, and these want to be going like that. And then we want to have a line going down this way. We are feeding through iron, and then that's where we come out with our thing. And then we want to just have 6x6. Obviously, we don't have the full kind of speed velocity to be going with these just yet, but that's something to bear in mind, and I'm just going to mark that there. Okay. Now, once we actually get to that stage, things are going to get a teensy bit more complicated. Because then we're actually going to have to do a thing called weaving, just to actually make sure we can get all of our materials in. Okay, so there's 3 on one side, we're going to want 3 on another side as well. We're going to want to get rid of this. I have put up a few lights, but not terribly much, I dare admit. And using small electric poles is going to be utter suffering, but I'm going to have to deal with it. But okay, what does our little calculator say over here? It says that we need 6 lines of copper cables coming out, but only 3 going in. We're also going to need only 2 lines of iron, so that is helpful to us. We could, in theory, resort to using these long-handed inserters, but either way, we are going to need to actually have a full button, a full input here. So that's going to make things mildly more complicated, but only mildly. So if we do something like this, what we can do is we can weave using underground belts, iron going underneath and in between these lines, and then all of our stuff is coming out just fine and dandy. That's not necessarily the end-all be-all here, but we're going to work on it nonetheless. So let's try first getting a little bit of copper coming in. This is about to get hideous, and under no circumstances should you do what I'm about to do. Just as a heads up. I'm only doing it this way because we haven't put up the 8x8s just yet over here, and I just want to get a little bit in. Fortunately, we can make more conveyor belts very quickly and easily right now. And of course we need power. We can go there, there, and even there. Hey, that's actually quite neat. Uncharacteristically neat for just basic cables, but we'll take it. There. Okay. So that will start a piece of our actual work over here. If I give this a little bit of iron by hand, we can start producing iron circuits, and that's actually going to help us to get a lot faster making up our inserters and our assembly machines and all sorts. It's not perfect, not by a long shot, but it's a start. Okay, and whoop, that's definitely not right. So to there. No, I'm actually going completely wrong. There we go. There. Okay. There and there. There. There, there. There. And let's stick that there. Okay. So that's not getting fed very well, but it is getting fed nonetheless. And I need more gears and more iron. Hooray. Glad we got this set up. Again, it's not producing anywhere near what it should be right now, but it is nonetheless producing. And these actually have a cap of 13.33 items, so we actually only have the capacity to carry 26 gears at a time, and right now we are producing 60-ish. So, if nothing else, we are nonetheless actually greatly outpacing our capacity to use these lines, so we shouldn't see them having much trouble for the moment. We are going to see them having trouble. Let's make use of our machines here. They're still not actually outpacing our own crafting speed, but they have the advantage that they don't actually have to be crafting like on the queue that we have in the bottom left there, so they're helping us out nonetheless. Okay. So that needs to go like that, and like that. And there, there, and there. And we now need to make some underground belts, but I'm out of iron, so let's just resolve that very quickly. Still only actually about, only 2 belts worth going in here, so that's actually about 1/8 or so of supply, which is not great, but we can deal for this exact precise moment. But okay, getting the iron in. So we skip over that, and then we skip again over that with one more. And yeah, we'll keep it that just for consistency. So to there, and this gives us a line inside of here that we can actually connect to the iron. Gonna need a few more of these, and then we're gonna need to work out how we're gonna get our iron from this belt, which is these belts are the only ones we want to be taking out of directly for output, and everything else wants to be coming in purely by way of that's not where that should be. I need to remember to move that at some point. Purely by way of everything else. Okay, so about there. And we don't need to worry about that. Okay. And up there. To there. And there to there. I like having this little piece in the middle, actually. It kind of helps us to detect whether or not these things are carrying anything at a given time. Kind of handy. Okay, there we go. So that'll give these guys an actual dedicated feed for iron, and that'll allow us to start making these things very quickly, because you can see the electronic circuits are the major part of this. Yeah, just look at that. We've got 10 to make just right there. But I do that, and now it's just lickety-split. Beautiful. Beautiful. So do that, add that. Give it some power, which I can hopefully manage. Very hopefully. Do there and there. Okay, and now we've got 3 of these running. Great. And now I need to actually map these in. Just so I know where they all are. Okay, there we go. So I need another 5 of these. What am I lacking? Probably copper? No, probably iron, actually. Solve that easily. There we go. Number 5. All done. No problem. Okay, and there. Don't quite have enough to feed all of them, but it's a start. We're gonna need 5 more electronic circuits, you say? Okay, no problem. Job done. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. We're gonna need probably a couple of lamps up here as well, since it's starting to get dark. So, just so we can keep an eye on where we are, and how is our pollution doing? Not annoying anybody yet. It's my favorite kind of pollution doing. Okay, we are going to need to get more iron coming in this way, though. But again, not terribly difficult when you already have gears on the belt. And I'm going to take those off that as well, because we want to craft those secondarily. Okay, and where is... There is. Okay, that's where we need to be putting for when we are actually fitting these out onto a belt. Okay, so like so. I can actually just map these as well. Nearly there. Nearly there. Whoop, not quite there. Okay, and I need another splitter. And I need this to skip a line a little bit. So we can do that. And there. Okay, so that will then feed. That's, again, not a perfect feed. We do need to make sure that we are actually handling that later down the road, but for right now, that should do the trick. And now we actually need to sort this out, don't we? So I can get this other section going. Well, at least I do have those done. Okay. So what we can see here is that every single assembly machine is being fed by 2 different assembly machines working on those, which is good because they require 3, and these are crafted at a rate of 2, which means every single crafting rate of these produces a grand total of 4 that we can then shove into these. So, should make sure that things run relatively smoothly. as smoothly as things get with these anyways. But yeah, this is how I generally tend to do this. If I'm speeding these up, it goes a considerable amount more complex. But we are not going to be speeding these up right now. We don't really have much dramatic need to speed them up. But it's what we got for right now, so yay. Sticking with it. But okay, so now I need to just add a little bit of power here. Just a little. Do there and there. I'm amazed at how neat and tidy that's managed to be. But, I'll take it. Fortunately, unlike like certain Minecraft mods like Industrial Craft, you don't actually have to worry about how much power is going through the poles. The only things that they actually factor in are how far they can power things from them and how far they can connect to other poles and such. That's pretty much it. So that's the main variation you get. So these are the shortest distance, the smallest space, whereas these have a slightly larger range and a significantly larger supply area. And these guys have a relatively very small supply area, smaller than the actual copper poles, but a huge wire reach. And later down the line, we actually get access as well to these, which have a decent enough wire reach, but a huge supply area. These are things you can use to power entire modules of crafting with just one or two of them. It's pretty wonderful at that stage. But anyways, we need to change this into this. So we're going to grab ourselves our blueprint, and currently it is set to this, so if we shift and scroll our wheel, we can get to our 8x8, which gets us then to see what is wrong and what we shall destroy and such here. So a little bit of zippy, and we'll actually have this done. So catch you all in a hot minute. And done. Hurrah. Okay, so that gets us our new 8x8, feeding copper over to here, so now we can run our lines down here and actually get this connected as well. Hurrah! Hurrah! And that'll be half of what we actually need done to get these lines to, well, functioning entirely. But, hey, it's progress, it's progress. And I also actually need to hook these up, don't I? There we go. There we go. Lovely. Right. So we're coming off of this line, we want to go down to that way, and we need to be about there. And there's 2 points of space. Traveling for a little bit further than that, actually. There. Okay. And I have plenty of gears in my inventory. I'm actually low on iron. Later on, that will be a problem that is held out of my hands, but for now, I did all of it. Okay. So that gets the copper going down to there. Hooray! And then it'll mean even more pollution, which is already growing. But we can bring this down at the very least. And then we can just clone this and handle it to about. Yeah, we can go there if we like. Seems to be relatively internally consistent in doing so, so let's plonk that there. Get rid of that, because we're probably not going to need that. And then we'll have the capacity to feed in all of the iron and copper that we need. Let's just zip that over there. Now, generally speaking, in the grand scheme of things, the main thing that you use the absolute tonnage of is iron. Copper tends to be used mostly in the form of electronic circuits. It can be used as wholesale in a few things, for instance gun turrets right here, but for the vast majority it's crafted into other things that are then more important, whereas iron and gears stay relevant well into the late game. So, something to consider, just whilst you're designing your own places and such. Okay, that's free. And we need to figure out how to get this line into there if we want to start building this, which we absolutely can manage. So, let's see, need one of these. It's gonna take me a moment because I don't have any circuits on me, but we can fix that up. Since we now are producing how much? Let's see. About 100. 100 per minute, and we've barely even built anything. Actually, rather impressed. That's much more than I was expecting to see. Okay, yeah, that's good. And then this will go like that. Clip into that. Get balanced. And we'll have the start of our 4 lines over here. Very nice. Very nice. And the last thing I need to think of is how do we get the copper from out of here into down here. So we want to go to here. We want to be following that line about there. So about there. And there's the 4 right there, which is the edge of reach for our belts and such. So right there. And we just have to get it past this giant rock and also way up. And I think we're actually 1 block over. 1 block, one measurement over. Yep, because we're not on the 4th. There, we actually want to be a little bit further over. But there. But that we can handle. There. And that must be just hopped over for everything else. Ah, right. Okay, well, I've got a little bit more building to go. But I believe now that we've gotten gears and electronic circuits onto the belts, the main bus, as it were, we can in fact start work on something described popularly as a mole. So that'll be our next episode. Yay! It's always nice when a plan goes together. Although it's still going to get very messy. Right, well, catch you all in the next episode.